Welcome to Chart of the Day. I'm Robert Folsom. 50 years that show when to be a contrarian through today. The U.S. Consumer Confidence Index and the U.S. unemployment rate are two of the most closely watched monthly economic indicators. This chart of the day shows a ratio of those two indicators, as in the Consumer Confidence Index divided by the unemployment rate, to see what it looks like across the past 50 years or so. The timeline is in 5-year increments from 1967 through September of 2019. Okay, what's the idea behind this ratio? Well, by itself, consumer confidence is simply a monthly snapshot of optimism. Yet this ratio puts that optimism in context by anchoring it to a very real economic reality, namely, am I employed? As usual with a graph like this, the extremes are especially relevant. These peak extremes show high confidence and low unemployment, while these extreme dips show low confidence and high unemployment. So let's scroll the ratio back and consider the dates of notable extremes during this period. Here is 1968. Yes, confidence and unemployment peaked, but that year in the U.S. would also see the greatest social unrest since the Civil War. Social mood turned and the economy, markets, politics, and pop culture followed. Economic times were indeed tough at this 1974 low, a year which included, non-coincidentally, the resignation of President Richard Nixon. The year of the next low may surprise you, but the evidence is clear. The boom of the 1980s did not begin until after confidence and unemployment turned in 1982. And perhaps you rightly recall that the 1990s was an even bigger boom decade than the 80s. But again, the boom happened only after unemployment rose and confidence tanked, and George H.W. Bush lost re-election in 1992. You can likely guess when the next important peak arrived, the year of the dot-com bust, plus the start of the first of two major recessions in one decade, the year 2000. Here we move into more recent history. 2007 began the Great Recession and 2009 saw its end. The confidence-unemployment ratio fell to its lowest reading on this graph. Now, I'll state the obvious regarding all of these extremes. They were contrary indicators. At these highs, people were optimistic for apparently good reason. Unemployment was way down. At these lows, people were pessimistic for apparently good reason. Unemployment was very high. Yet all of these were the right times to be a contrarian. Which brings us to the present. Our ratio has reached extremes last seen in the early 1970s. Yes, the record expansion of the U.S. economy could keep right on going, but history would suggest otherwise. This chart from EWI analyst Murray Gunn published for subscribers on October 18th. For more of Murray's charts and commentary, please see the fast steps below.